Stay away from anything that is going to start with an N. Stay away. They don't know they're going and they're coming. They don't know where to start. So all they can do is to tarnish and everything they come across. I'm not talking about human beings at this stage. I am talking about deadly cowards. We're facing the cowards and we have to deal with the cowards. According to me, there's no Nigerian who should be living in South Africa except he's actually been reviewed paperwork-wise, thick and thin, threw it all out. Why? Because we can't trust none, because there's none. Because 99% is the ill-mannered one. Deadly, badly, evil, intentional, pimps. The cruelty that you can call on earth, people that can eat you.
Why is there this lingering problem between Nigeria and South Africa? For a very long time, this has always been a big issue. And I just want to know why we have this problem. Can we start by saying that this video is not meant to cause any chaos or any misunderstanding or misconstruing of what we're discussing here today? We just want to understand basically how this started. What is the genesis of the issue, the chaos, the problem between these two countries, Nigeria and South Africa? I understand a lot of countries have their own domestic and sometimes external issues. But what is happening between Nigerians living in South Africa and how South Africans are handling it is something we need to discuss because it's actually getting out of hand. Why am I saying this? Yesterday, I actually sneaked into a TikTok live that was majorly composed of South Africans. And we had a few Nigerians on that platform, but all were kicked out. I was the only Nigerian left on that platform. And it was very clear that they allowed me because I had a bit of their narrative, because I understand they have their own domestic issues. So do we, Nigerians. We have our domestic issues. And the way we go about it is completely different from the way the South Africans expect us to go about it. South Africans are very bitter. They are very angry with Nigerians. They are. If you go on this live and you listen to how they demean you as a Nigerian, they say very foul things about Nigeria. That's not the point. The point is we need to understand where this difference is. Where did it start? Please go into the comment section and just try to make us understand where did this problem start? Because South Africans do not like Nigerians. Let's be very plain about that. They don't like Nigerians. And I mean this in the most humble way, because when you say things out of line, a lot of people misconstrue it and try to bet their own narrative and make it stronger than yours because they probably have bigger platforms. But I'm going to play you clips here. Okay? You would watch the live I actually jumped on or probably sneaked in to understand exactly what is this pain, where is this hurt coming from. Please, I wouldn't want you to start reacting when you listen to this video because there are very foul things said on this live, very terrible things said on this live. It's just for us Nigerians to look inward and examine. Are they truly saying these things out of fact? Do we as Nigerians really understand ourselves? Would you say Nigeria is truly this bad or Nigerians are really this bad? Because I have also made a couple of videos where I have sieved, as it were, the Nigerian space, the Nigerian people, the environment, the government, the politicking and politicians, as it were. And for the most part, I always say Nigeria is at that point where you could confidently say nothing is working. We as Nigerians are not shying away from that. Every Nigerian who is either in Nigeria or overseas will tell you that Nigeria currently is not working. Okay, that's how we say it. The South Africans want us to see it more than that. And they see it in a way that we Nigerians need to act the way the Kenyans did, the way the citizens of other countries, actually take up, would want to use some certain names, but take up equipment to fight for their people. We had this during the EndSARS. We had this during the Civil War. We've had scuffles here and there with a lot of agitations coming from all parts of Nigeria, where a lot of people, more than the usual, have stood up to say they are not in support of this. But the South Africans are not getting it. They really don't understand why Nigerians are this way. So I jumped on this platform and I was just trying to paint a different narrative to where they're coming from. Because I was just thinking basically that South Africans should actually know how to handle this with their government and not with foreigners. But the topic actually was about the illegal migrants in South Africa. Should they be given citizenship? Should they be allowed to stay because they are African brothers? And I was of the opinion that if someone is living in your country illegally, such persons have to go. You know, South Africans should fight for their country. South Africans should stand for their country. And the way they go about it actually should make the best sense. South Africans do not need to take the laws into their hands as a way of trying to recover their government, as it were. They need to make their government stand for this narrative that they actually are pushing. But they didn't see it that way. It got to a point where I was nearly kicked out, but others actually fought for me and said, no, I needed to be there because I was the only Nigerian that was making sense, as it were. You would actually see me down there, okay? And this lady and that lady were the fiercest commentators. And also the dude up there was also very fierce. Like, what they said about Nigerians was just, I was very drained. You know, when they say things about you, when people talk about you, that you know you're not of that kind of extraction, or you're not the way they've actually described you, or they talk about you. When you get to hear it, you feel very, very sick. That was how I felt. Now, see, I want to play you guys all these videos. For the umpteenth time, people keep talking about how good, how great, how enterprising, how confident, you know, how brilliant of a people Nigerians are. The South Africans don't see us in that way. South Africans do not see anything positive about any Nigerian, especially the Nigerians in their country. Let me reiterate again. This video is just to give us clarity. It's not a video where you actually pick up and try to instigate what I've not said, okay? So let's be clear on this. This video is to give us clarity, to understand what is the problem. Where did it start? Where did we start falling apart between Nigeria and South Africans? There must have been somewhere all of this things started, because I know that we have a lot of South African companies in Nigeria. We have a lot of, we had a relationship with South Africa at a point, but right now I don't think that's the case, because a lot of this narrative being put out there will not make a lot of people to be safe, as it were, or to feel like we have our southern brothers in alignment on any issue at all. So this is actually a very big problem. So like I was saying, a lot of people say things about Nigerians that are very, very good to hear. For the fact that we have some few eggs, some few damaged eggs, who have painted and given us a very bad name out there, doesn't mean the whole of Nigerians are this bad. I understand Nigerians are very competitive. Nigerians show off. Nigerians are very confident and very loud. I understand that. We have a population of over 230 million Nigerians. You don't expect over 230 million Nigerians to be in the light they are trying to paint, or they've been painting for the most part of the last decade, if not the last 2 decades. It's terrible to hear, but just like I said, this video is for clarity. A lot of celebrities, a lot of big names out there, and also some Nigerian extraction are out there excelling in sports, in academia, in the film industry, in different walks of life. They are there, and a lot of people get to see them. Are these people also in the same light that the South Africans paint? Are they still in the same light? When I was bringing this up also, they said, why not stay in your country and fight for your country? Why go become an American? Why become a British? Why do you speak like American? Why not uphold the value of the African culture? Stay in your country. Build your country. We South Africans don't travel out to any country. We stay in our country. We build our country. Yes, that's true. But also, the cultural and genetic make of Nigerians is not to sit one place. This video also that I will play explains all of that, where you hear this man talking about, if you go to a place where you don't find Nigerians, if you go to any part of the world where you don't find Nigerians, please leave. Because if you don't find Nigerians there, then that place is not livable. So all of these examples was put on the live, and it fell on deaf ears. So I just concluded And in fact, all Nigerians that came on the platform were kicked out. Even if you were making sense, they kicked you out. It just gave me a conclusion that this is bigger than I actually thought. I was really pained because I have never seen a group of South Africans, because that was the first time, actually that was the second time I went on the platform. And they knew me, that I had attended previously, and that was why they could allow me. But I felt very pained because I've never seen a group of South Africans on the platform this angry. You will get to hear it. I'll play the whole video because I recorded it because I was so stunned. I was so amazed. I was so confused. So I had to record it, because if I don't record it, you guys won't believe it, okay? So, but before I go into listening to what happened on the live completely, all the foul languages, all the nasty things were said on that live, I would want you to still watch again how people talk about Nigerians, how great Nigerians are. But for the fact that we have those few Nigerians who are just living in the dark, who are just painting Nigerians terribly, in Nigeria and overseas, including our leaders back home, who have for so many years never treated Nigeria as their own. Politicians who have never tried to be patriotic to help build Nigerians. They are the ones, the few, that are giving us these bad names. Let's listen to this video here so that you can understand that for the umpteenth time, Nigerians are still the most respected black race in the world. Nigerians are still the smartest, brilliant people that I know, that we know, and we talk about all the time. But all of this are still not seen by South Africans. South Africans feel this is just a charade. This doesn't make sense to them. So if these and all other things that actually put Nigeria on the map doesn't make them feel like we are trying, we are up there, then there's something underneath. There's something, a big problem. They talk about whiskey. They talk about Burna Boy. They say, yeah, even Burna Boy stole their song and remixed it and said the song was his. They said a lot of things, guys. If you're a Nigerian in South Africa, I would just want you to be careful, okay? If you're in South Africa, allegedly, you're doing your businesses, you have your papers, and you're doing things right, please just continue doing the right thing. And for those of you in South Africa, Nigerians in South Africa who are there for the wrong reasons, and you're giving bad name to people like us and some other very wonderful Nigerians out there, then I would say this is not right. You can't be among the few people giving these bad names to a lot of good people out there. This is completely wrong. If you know you're in South Africa doing things that are really not right, please leave South Africa or change your ways and start living right. And I also support the fact that South Africans are fighting for South Africa. But do it the right way. Do it the right way. Talk to your government. Speak to your government. Don't take laws into your hands. I like it. I wish Nigerians actually would fight for their country, but go through it the legal way. Go through the courts, protest peacefully, and let's take out some of these bad eggs that are giving us this bad name all over the world. Okay, so if you're in South Africa, you're not doing it right, please change your ways. Okay, or leave South Africa. So let's listen to the good parts of this video first. Let's listen to this. Then we'll go into the parts that will just make you feel so sad. Okay, so let's watch this.
Nigerians were the first Africans who taught me to believe in myself. Like every other African that I met always had like a certain level of like, how you doing? I was like, I'm okay. I'm fine. Like, we even say in South Africa, we'd be like, nyanga, which means like I'm almost like I'm begging. I'm begging my way through. I'm getting by. I try. And Nigerians, I remember like literally were the first ones who were like, you're not trying, you're doing.
I'm Nigerian originally, and when I came to the US when I was 6, I remember going to school here and realizing that in America, the coolest kids were not necessarily the smart kids. In Nigeria, when I was growing up, the coolest kids, the ones that, here might be the jocks or whatnot, they were the smartest because the teacher would read your report card in front of everybody and say your last name. So the cool kids were the top.
One thing I like about Nigerians, a Nigerian man, if he comes in here and speak, you won't doubt that this man has got confidence.
What's been the biggest lesson you've learned in that journey?
If you can survive in my country, you can survive anywhere in the world. You know what I'm saying? The country gives you that hustling spirit, dedication, consistency.
Wow, Nigerians we're hustlers. We're special. We make our mark anywhere. Even if you are a taxi driver, even if you're a school teacher, a doctor, whatever it is, we will be the best at that. true, whatever it is we're doing.
A friend of mine once told me that if you go to any part of the world and you do not find a Nigerian, leave that place. If you want the best engineers in the continent, they are Nigerian. If you want the best doctors, they are Nigerian. If you want good lawyers, they are Nigerian. If you want good people, they are Nigerians.
America is a world in which black people don't do the best things. Black people are not expected to do best things. And I remember finding it quite silly because I'd come from Nigeria and I thought, surely he knows Nigerians are all brilliant. You know?
All right, Mike, I haven't gotten a hold of you since that whole gorilla debate.
Yeah.
But now that you're here, let me ask you this. 100 Mike Tysons versus one gorilla. Who's walking out of that ring?
Listen, Joe, there can only be one Mike Tyson. But I'll tell you what, I probably just need like 2 random Nigerian men to help me handle that gorilla.
Wait, Nigerians?
Yeah.
Why Nigerians?
Man, the other day I was in London and a buddy of mine took me to this Nigerian spot. I think it was called Anish. They had this thing called fufu. Joe, I'm telling you, I walked out of that restaurant feeling like I could win 10 world championships in 1 week. Oh, man. For real, it originated from Nigeria, West Africa.
For real?
And get this, they said it's a normal meal in Nigeria. Like, they eat it every day. Imagine the kind of strength on those guys. If I felt like Superman after just one plate.
I gotta try that.
Okay, so this is the good part of the video. Do you have a problem with this submission? Do you have a problem with it? Do you think Nigerians are not supposed to be put in this light? Do you think Nigerians are far from this? If you ask me, I think Nigerians are brilliant people, very brilliant people. Let's not use those few ones that are trying to give us a bad name. Nigerians are very beautiful people, very brilliant people all over the world. When you get to see Nigerians at their place of work, in schools, being very creative, you know, at any life endeavor, you would actually see that Nigerians are very brilliant people, very confident. So I think this is 100% correct, okay? But guess what? South Africans don't see us like this. You know, with all of these praises, even one of their politicians said Nigerians are the most confident people here, saying when a Nigerian walks into a room, you would just see a Nigerian exude that confidence. That's what he said in this video. That's a South African, okay? But the generality of the people in South Africa, going by the live I jumped on, oof, this guy is done love us, mate. This guy is done. Okay, so having listened to this, please buckle your belts, okay? Let us listen to one of the worst things I've heard as a Nigerian from our brothers, the South Africans, on this live. And I'll reiterate for the third time, this video is just to give us clarity. Please, if you know what the major problem is between Nigerians and South Africans, please go into the comment section and, you know, make us understand, because I'm still struggling. I'm still trying to understand where did it start from, okay? But if you go into the comment section and also just, you know, explain yourself, try to just, you know, be elaborate so we can understand where this started from. For a lot of us who probably may learn from it, I mean, we might actually want to understand, oh, this is where it started. So we probably need to sit right, or we probably need to have a reform within ourselves, or South Africans will probably need to watch this video and see that probably this is where they are getting it wrongly. Okay, so let's buckle up and listen to this. Be calm, okay? No chaos, no issues, okay? I was there. This is not something anywhere. I was there. You look at me there, okay? I was there, so this is first-hand information. So let's jump into it.
Stay away from anything that is going to start with an N. Stay away from anything that is going to start with an N. Stay away from anything that is going to start with an N. When you listen to us on this platform, we are all here sharing our time, not being paid for, but for the love and care we have for the generation. Recognize a brother or a sister in your neighborhood and realize what I'm telling you, how real it is. You are targeted. These unnamed and unusual names that you are hearing that hurts your that bruises your egos, young South African man, all these you're not big enough, you are lazy, you're not smart. It's another form of highly being, you criticize what you want to be, envied in how you were born, the structure you were born, which is not your fault. Your forefathers, your grandparents have paid for where you are now. It's nothing to feel sad or feel that you are privileged. There was bloodshed for the path every South African is in. Protect it, guide it. There is nothing wrong with you making it in life in an honest way. We are talking about men that do not sleep at night. They have no peace. They brag and do whatever they want, but at night there is no resting of the mind. The bitterness, it's in the blood. It's raised. They don't know they're going and they're coming. They don't know where to start. So all they can do is to tarnish, dent everything they come across. I'm not talking about human beings at this stage. I am talking about deadly cowards, generation to generation. And one thing for sure, this generation, it's going to pay. One generation, one way or the other, even, through the universe itself, this nation is going to pay for all the atrocities, intentional atrocities performed worldwide. And if it's not finished, it's generation to generation. I can tell you now, guaranteed now, it's self-sabotage, failed states from the day they were born. Not being different is a choice that they made. Stay away from anything that is going to start with an N. Stay away from anything that is going to start with an N in your life. Despite what you'll see or hear or trust, do not give in. I can talk about this till tomorrow because right now I feel so pissed to an extent that I'm deliberate with every word I'm saying. I don't feel no shame, no guilt. And now that we are woke, join us, guys, in the struggle. Let's forget about the government. The government will join us. We know how to fight our government. They know us. We know them. They will join us. The slogan in when we are in the mission. Let's do this once and for all. Let's clean up. Let's change this today from now on. If you are afraid to speak, get the number. There's numbers, guys. Be a whistleblower. Do not discuss it with your friend first. You don't need to physically be at the forefront, but you will follow the crowd if you need to. Come forth with everything. Get them, guys. It's not supposed to sound like a threat. It's supposed to be intentional action that every South African, it's your responsibility, guys. Let's stand. We're facing the cowards and we have to deal with the cowards. According to me, there's no Nigerian who should be living in South Africa except he's actually been reviewed paperwork-wise, thick and thin, threw it all out. Why? Because we can't trust none, because there's none. Because 99% is the ill-mannered one. Deadly, badly, evil, intentional, pimps, the cruelty that you can call on earth, people that can eat you. Don't play games, guys. You don't have the mental strength for these people. You've got no mental strength to say you will challenge. So don't go to a struggle war that you are not ready for. Just use the systems that are provided to you to help each other and yourself and this generation. Help us, guys. Help us to keep the dignity. We can't be the generation that will fail. There's no generation that has failed before, and it won't start with us. Help us. We know what we're talking about. If you do not know, just trust and believe. Everything is to protect everybody. I'll stop here.
Pakistanis, the Somalians, they knew. The Tanzanians, very quiet. They are very quiet and very exclusive, but they also a problem. But the Nigerians, they are loud, and they've been here the most and the longest time. And the sad part is that there is very intelligent Nigerians that are doing straight business. Some of them are professionals. They come into this country. There's no problem. We don't have a problem with that. In fact, any professional who has a scarce skill, legally, we allow them to be here. The problem starts when you bring nothing here. You come with nothing, you bring nothing. And then when we are here, you import whatever you are doing wherever. You import it into our country. You start a new crime and a new problem. And then when you find a few stupid South Africans who join you and be your handlers and everything, and then you turn back and say it's us who are doing it, we will tell you that, because we spend every day studying this thing, and day by day we'll get rid of them. So they can't tell us that it's us that are doing it to ourselves. There's nothing like that. There's new things like even kidnapping. We never had those things. It's a new thing now. It's growing. These things of kidnapping and ransom, we never had it. Guess who arrived with it? These Pakistanis and Somalians, helped by the Mozambicans as handlers. So in most crimes that are here, you can do whatever you say and blame South Africans. It is not us who brought those crimes. It's new to us. Unfortunately, because of poverty and everything, there's a couple of stupid citizens that will join in and help. But when Nigerians speak loud, they better speak loud in their country. Or if you are in another country, you better speak loud because you are working and you are a professional or a businessman doing legit things. If you are not, then don't speak, because people like us will debunk it. I can tell you for a fact, they call themselves businessmen. We don't know business that has a small cell phone shop and you stand around the whole day doing nothing, yet you can afford cars and apartments. No, there's a disconnect there. Unfortunately, our law, we don't have enough resources yet to comb through the street and audit everyone standing in the street. Otherwise, if we had those resources, all this thing of them saying they are big businessmen or whatever, I'm telling you, right now, 90% of them would be in jail. Unfortunately, we do not have the resources. So the citizens will help. And us who see things will take pictures, will take videos, will snitch, anonymously will snitch until something gets done. We won't leave you. Thank you.
Thank you. That was great. Thank you so much for your input. Where do we go now? Is there too? And then Dudu, where is it?
It's Dudu first.
Was this right best?
I think it's me first, ma'am.
Yeah, but I think it was Dudu first. Thanks,
All right,
my
okay. Not a problem. We go then.
Okay.
But you are welcome.
All right, thank you, Mrs. Good evening, one more time. By the way, Miss Marlon, you can drop me after my submission. In South Africa here, crime has a face. We know car hijack, many of times is Mozambicans. There's now the new one that is spiking off our cars when we drive on the road. There are roads that I choose not to drive if it is about this time. The face there Zimbabweans. Powder, the surface, Nigerians. So everything that we are saying here, we're not saying it out of jealousy.
Wow. Okay, guys. Wow. So that's the video there. So I think it's really terrible going through all of this. It's really, really terrible. But what I can say is, South Africans, we love you. Nigerians, we love you guys, and we don't have any bad motive or bad feelings towards you guys, because I personally have South African friends here, and we are doing pretty much okay. Like, we are okay. And this is, this is a very wrong way to go about it. So Nigerians in South Africa, please be very careful. This was a live that I was on, and if you go on the live just now, that is still ongoing. They discuss it all the time. Okay, I think yesterday they left a tag and said, see you on Monday. So probably they'll be taking a rest today, and they will come up tomorrow, Monday. So this was Friday. So this recording was Friday and Saturday, and I'm doing this video today, Sunday. They would also be there on TikTok tomorrow, Monday. So basically, what I just want us to understand is this video has given us clarity to understand that there's still a lot to do to work things out between Nigerians and South Africans. We really need to work that out, because this is not healthy. This is not healthy for both countries. It's really, really not healthy. We are Africans. We are Africans, and we should know how to, we should know how to go about things like this much better. For the most part, for a very long time, this has been going on. We need to put a stop to it. Nigerians and South Africans need to see each other as brothers and not as enemies. Just leave your comments in the comment section. I wouldn't want to talk much. What do you feel about what is going on between Nigerians and South Africans? And also, I want to welcome my South African friends. If you can just leave your comments in the comment section so we can understand exactly where we are not doing it right. But I asked a question on the platform. I actually didn't record that part because it was really a long session. I asked a question and I said, if you guys were to just give me one thing about Nigerians that you guys don't like, they said, no, we have a lot, not just one. I said, okay, can you just give me some few points about Nigerians that you guys truly, truly don't like? They said Nigerians are too loud. Nigerians are too loud. That was the first thing they said. I don't know if they meant too loud materially or showing off, or Nigerians are very argumentative. I wasn't too sure about that. And secondly, they said Nigerians are too confident on the wrong things. The Nigerians walk into their hospitals to get free healthcare, and you see Nigerians screaming, at the hospital, as if they have rights in this country. And some of them actually do not have paper. So what they do is go to some of these hospitals and not only fish them out, not just only Nigerians, they fish Zimbabweans out, Namibians out, and all the surrounding African countries who are staying in South Africa. So they fish them out, and not to get the free healthcare. That why not go back to your country and fix your health system, fix your government, so you guys can enjoy these things. Don't come to South Africa and get free stuff. You guys should go back to your country and fix your country. I was asked so many times, Epic, what have you done personally to change your country? And I asked them back, if you were to put it individually, what have you done just individually? I was posing the question to Malone, Miss Malone. And I think there was one lady down here also. And I was asking her directly, what have you personally done to improve what is happening right now in South Africa? And they couldn't answer. All they want is go back and fix your country. What are you doing? And a lot of people came from the diaspora on the platform, and they were literally laughing at them. Why would you leave your country to the US? Why would you leave your country to the UK? Stay in your country. Why are you going to go and sabotage? You see, it was a big mess. Please, let's just go into the comment section and try to give us clarity on what you've just listened today. But make sure you take this in very wisely, okay? Let's not go out trying to, act very unwisely out there. So that's my 2 cents on this video, okay? And if you're new here, please, we just want you to subscribe, hit the notification bell so you get to see any videos I actually come up with. And please just leave your comments in there. Please, we just want you to leave your comments, okay? Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Twali.